Welcome to this daily guided meditation practice. This is the Attentive Mind. My name is Nathan, and I'll be guiding you through this meditation practice today. Find yourself a seated position. And today is a shorter meditation practice, so the position isn't as important. However, you want to find something generally comfortable and sturdy. You don't want to feel like you need to shift and move during the practice because you're uncomfortable, but you also don't want to feel like you're about to get up and go and do something. So sturdiness is really important. So sitting in a chair, lying down, sitting in a formal meditation posture on the floor, just find what works for you. We also keep our eyes open during this practice. But of course, if you have learned to practice with your eyes closed or you feel more comfortable doing so, feel free to do it. There are no hindrances here. But if your eyes are open, go ahead and just leave the screen alone and drop your eyes and your gaze gently down below you, kind of looking at the floor or the desk or whatever is just below you. We're not staring or analyzing anything in particular. We're also not zoned out and blurry. We have a gentle gaze directed softly and clearly downwards. You're in a comfortable seated position, and your eyes are either open or closed, gaze looking down. Just relax. There's really nothing to do. And relaxation isn't something we do, it's something we allow. We're letting go of the things we hold on to. So, in other words, instead of saying relax, we say allow. Right here and now. Allow everything to be exactly as it is without wanting to change it. Allowing sounds to be what they are. Allowing them to play with your eardrums as they want to. Allowing color and sight, shapes, form to play with the rods and cones in the lens of your eyes. Allowing the skin to feel the air around it, any warmth, heat, cool, cold, feeling of the clothes on the skin, allowing them to be. allowing the air to gently pass in and out of your nostrils. Just noticing the quality of the air, but not judging it. And letting the lungs breathe on their own without our input. It's all happening right here. Just step out of the way. And maybe you'll notice some thoughts coming and stealing your attention. Maybe things you have to get done, agitation, judgment. Be careful, we're not pushing these thoughts away. We allow them to. In other words, we allow the mind to think whatever it wants to. We allow the bad thoughts and the good thoughts with equal welcoming. Don't resist it. Allow everything. And we all know what it's like to be lost in thought. We all know this monologue that goes on in our heads. But have you ever taken the time to really look at it for what it is? In other words, what really is a thought? What is the experience of thinking? See if you can just watch this next thought arise in your head, and it will. But let's wait for it. Take the next 15 seconds or so and just wait for this next thought to arise and see if you can just watch it come up and disappear. Watching it like an object. And if you notice yourself thinking, like getting lost in the thought, trying to figure it out, just step back, notice this moment, and wait for another thought to arise. And see if you can just watch it. Look carefully at what's happening. And then we wait for the next one. Not judging our thoughts, noticing them arise and pass away. Now, if you're able to see your thoughts as thoughts without getting involved in them, that is a great skill, a fundamental discovery about your mind. All of the to-do lists, the problems, the judgments, the worries, the struggles, they all exist like that. They arise in the head and then they disappear. And you don't have to attach to them. So just let go. All right, you can look at the screen. When I was a bit younger, I got in trouble at school. I was in high school. So I got sent to this disciplinary camp, basically a military school. And it was very regimented and it was very difficult. But I ended up really liking it. And a lot of the people I was with really liked it. And when I was told to go back to regular school, I didn't want to go because I got so much benefit of the discipline of it. But I was told something by, his name was Sergeant Alvarado. Can't remember his name very well. But he told me as I was leaving, I told him, I don't want to go. Like I like the discipline and the structure of this, and I'm tired of just high school. And he looked at me, he said, just go back and make a change. He's like, he said this, and it really has always stuck with me. He said, in life, we kind of go down these tunnels that we dig for ourselves. And we dig and dig and dig, and we end up hitting a wall. And then we just sit there at the wall, banging our head against the wall over and over and over, and then complain that it hurts. But then we keep banging our head. He said, it's important to understand to just turn around and stop doing that and walk out of the tunnel. He then made a point that you still got the length of the tunnel to go back through, which is another different point. But the part about hitting the head in the wall is really important because this is kind of what we do in our life with suffering. You're an anxious person. You don't want to be anxious anymore. And we're anxious because we're hitting our head on the same triggers over and over again. We decide something comes up that's like a trigger, and we go, let me think about that. Oh, I really should start thinking. Wait a minute, what about this? What about this? And we know this is happening, but we do it anyway. It's almost like this compulsion, impulse. And this practice is like, especially what we did today, to be able to set back and see thinking as it is, we can catch those early. We don't have to, we can see the whole process happen where, oh, that's an anxious thought. We don't even have to say it. We just see the anxious thought and it stays and then it goes on its own. Instead of seeing the anxious thought and then thinking about that and then thinking about that and then it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and then we spiral. We all have specific mental walls. Maybe it's depression. Maybe it's lack of self-worth, your body, whatever it is. We all have those walls. But what we did today allows us to see the mind as it is, what's actually going on. We can see it arise. If you're tired of getting angry with your spouse, if you're tired of getting angry with your kids or whatever it is, instead of being just totally involved in that, if you practice, you can start to see that happening before you get taken over by it. This is why this is the most important thing to do is to practice. To notice thinking as thinking and not believe it to be me, to be you, identifying with thought. I'm angry and that's the truth. No, I'm angry and I see this thought arise and disappear. There's something that sees this. I'm not it. If you can see anger, you're not anger. Anger's over here and then you can see it, you're not anger. But what we do is we attach to it like this and say, I'm anger, I'm fear, I'm anxiety, I'm depression. We just need to disidentify with it and notice that it's just this thing that happens. So practice. If there's anything you do today, sit on your own. After this video, forget this video, just practice. It's the only thing really worth doing. And you can see those mental walls. And you can stop banging your head on them all the time and complaining that your head hurts and wondering why it hurts. So just practice. Just practice. Thank you for showing up today. And as always and without exception, I'll see you tomorrow.